Yo, what up, everybody? Okay, so today I want to take a look at this whole Transformer situation that's in Minnesota. And it's real weird how all this stuff keeps happening because there was just a shooting of a guy that worked for Tampon Tim, and he said he had a letter that he had already mailed to the FBI before he got caught. And he said in his letter that Tampon Tim wanted him to do this. He's the one that gave him all the information on who to shoot and who to take out. And now it's like now this is happening. We keep having these transformers attack these kids and just they keep getting responsible for these mass shootings. And we need to start having these serious conversations. And finally, the mainstream media is actually saying something at least instead of ignoring it and ignoring you know the mental part of this, because there's two parts. There's people that are deeply disturbed and then they have a mental illness, and they're loners, they have no one. So I want to say just a few things and we'll get into this. These are the things that they don't address, which I think we need to. These people need to stop being coddled, and like their parents need to be more involved in their lives, because their parents coddle them and tell them, fill their head with lies and delusions. Now they're looking for acceptance from other groups, and there's no one around them like that because they're such a small minority that they're going to look to online groups that are all these weirdo radicals. That's how these people get radicalized. This kid was a total Gen Z brain rot idiot. So they need help, and they need to have mental evaluations before they do this stuff. And once you have mental evaluation, the doctors are going to put them on some kind of SSRIs, right? A transformer can get SSRIs and still be able to get a firearm, but a straight guy like me, if I went and got on SSRIs, I'd be a prohibited person. So they all boom right there. They need to be classified a prohibited person. They should not be allowed to get firearms. And it just doesn't make sense. Why? How come a straight person can't get a firearm, but a transformer can? Because they're like a protected. Like what? What is this, dude? So it's just like rules for thee and not for me. And one other thing, these online groups take advantage of them, but other groups take advantage of them as well. The Democrats, the libtards, they radicalize these people to the point where something like this happens, and then they're sitting there stuck with Pikachu face, like I can't believe this happened. And you're gonna see it here in this video because we're gonna go over all that. So let's just get into it.
The shooter was
They do it for their own gain, for their own agenda. They are useful idiots for them.
transgender. That's been proven. And also says that he regrets becoming transgender. I'm tired of being trans. I wish I had never brainwashed myself, the school shooter says.
There you have it. So he was radicalized into something and pressured into something that he didn't really think about enough. He didn't take enough time to think about it. And his mom, because she wants to virtue signal, wanted to be all about it because to her, she can show him off around town like it's a brand new Gucci purse.
Is now the time to finally have this conversation? Transgender shooter Robin Westman confessed that he was tired of being trans and wished to have never been brainwashed in his manifesto. He also says that he's demonically possessed. I mean, here, there's no other way to interpret this image. Here in Westman's own hand, in his own diary, you can see Westman staring into the mirror, seeing a demon staring back at him with the rifle slung around his back. In his own Sanskrit here, that's really just like Russian that he's writing. It says, "When will it end? Help me. I don't want to. Help. Kill yourself. Kill." This is obviously a real problem, a true mental health crisis in this nation, and it's leading to innocent children dying, and they are
And
targeting
adults,
churches and targeting children. It's time for people to speak up, and that's why
fathers, mothers, brothers. It's 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 getting out of hand. Like these people are deeply disturbed, and you know, I have a feeling that somehow these people get warnings of stuff like this because these people are crying out for help, and we always find out, right, that like there was messages online or something, they're bragging about doing it. Just
arguably
happens.
the single bravest moment in broadcast TV history that I've ever seen, which is Jesse Waters' monologue
Facts.
last night, where not only does he call out the actual trends of transgender shooting, but also the severe problem, the instability and mental health issues that need to be discussed, and the inability for modern politics to talk about it, of the left, the modern political parties of the left. People on the right talk about it all the time, and rightfully so, because we want children to live and we don't want them to be gunned down in church. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Jesse Waters' single bravest monologue I've ever heard on cable TV.
It
It's
is
gone viral
on cable
my
TV,
page,
yeah.
by the way. 3 million views, 27,000 reposts, and 85,000 likes. The sucker is a nuke, and you'll see why. Here you go.
Suicidal transgender who hates Trump's Christians and Jews shoots up kids at a Catholic school, and the media wants to take away your handgun.
Yep.
So how are we supposed to protect
They always want to grab your guns so you can't protect yourself from people like this.
ourselves from trans shooters?
Yeah.
The media is bad at pattern recognition. We aren't. Just 2 years ago, another trans 20-something walked into a Christian school in Nashville with a rifle and shot 3 kids and 3 adults. They buried the manifesto and locked down the case. We've seen trans shootings in Colorado and in Maryland.
And remember, Crowder had to get the Tranifesto. It got leaked to him. He was the one that broke the Tranifesto.
They even shot up an ICE facility in Texas. And it seems like half of Antifa's trans. A couple of they-thems just got popped for firebombing Teslas. The mayor of Minneapolis says, you can't say that.
Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating for...
And this bitch right here, this bitch was deflecting on the Tampon Tim shooting. This one right here I'll circle her with the mouse. She was deflecting and saying that before it came out that that dude was working for Tim Walz, and then all the information came out that he had said Tim Walz directed him. He could very well be a lunatic, but before all that came out, she said that conservatives were putting out misinformation out online. Her right here. Never retracted her statement, never made an apology.
Place of love for our kids.
I don't hate anyone who thinks they're trans.
And that guy, doesn't that guy make you sick? Hearing that? Doesn't that make you sick? Like, dude, the tranny just killed innocent children, and you're telling us that we need to be sympathetic towards them right now?
I feel sorry for them. But statistically,
Exactly.
the trans population has been prone to violence.
Super
That's
violent.
not villainizing, that's reality. And if you can't recognize reality, you're in danger. We love the American people, especially American children. And if they're troubled and believe they're somehow a girl trapped in a boy's body, we want to get them help.
Yep.
We don't want to give them hormones and operate on them.
I can't get hormones. I can't get TRT as a 40-year-old man. But this 18-year-old can go into, not an 18, 15-year-old can go into some clinic like they have in Minneapolis, and they'll start putting them on estrogen, or if they're girls, give them TRT, which they shouldn't be having. It's going to change their brain. It's going to make them start having the anxiety that it comes with is going to lead to them having to be put on SSRIs. Like, anyone will tell you that.
Society shouldn't be trying to produce more trans kids, and doctors should stop profiting from it. Great Britain ended child sex change surgeries. They
Straight
said
up.
it's barbaric, and they're right.
And they're more
And
crazy left than we are.
should stop elevating the trans issue like it's the civil rights struggle of the 21st century. You see it all over Minneapolis.
Minneapolis will continue to be a safe haven for our trans community.
For being a safe haven for transgender individuals.
We have sued them for gender-affirming care. Yes,
Trump.
We are not going to scapegoat our transgender community.
When our children...
You're literally scapegoating them and using them as your scapegoats, as your useful idiots by doing this. And this woman right here is the most disgusting one.
tell us who they are.
Look at her
It is
shirt.
our job as grown-ups to listen and to believe them.
No. If a child wants to get a tattoo or start smoking cigarettes, are you going to do that? No. What about if they want to start having sex with adult men or women? Are you going to do that? What? This is retarded. These people are straight up retards, bro. This fucking bitch needs to be put in jail.
So when your 9-year-old tells you he's a horse, do you let him sleep out in the barn and eat hay? What are we doing here? Teenagers are confused. Sometimes these things are just a phase. And if they're not, all right, then a grown man can wear a dress. If he wants to do that in America, he has that right. We're a pretty darn tolerant society. But the left's weaponizing trans kids and turning them into culture warriors. And they've been turned loose against the church, schools, and Trump. You see it, I see it. The trans clan has a militant wing, and it's out for blood. They're taking lives, defiling churches, and freaking everybody out. And some politicians are doing more to protect shooters like Westman than soft targets like schools. In 2023, private schools in Minnesota begged Governor Walz to fund more school safety.
They didn't want to do
They
it.
told him it was an urgent and critical need.
He didn't want to do it.
Minnesota had an $18 billion budget surplus, but the governor didn't do it. Instead, he turned Minnesota into a trans sanctuary. And his attorney general, Keith Ellison, sued Trump so they can keep castrating little boys.
Sick.
Tim Walz failed.
Tampon Tim.
Our leaders keep failing us. They failed us during COVID, on trade, on immigration. They say they care about kids, but they locked them down and oversaw an obesity and chronic disease epidemic. And now there's a growing trans epidemic, and they won't even admit it. Just like crime. They created a crisis and then lie about it and blame you for not being compassionate.
You're the evil one.
But their fake compassion is getting people killed.
The only way that you...
I wonder why they hate Trump so much when these people keep telling him he's hiding underneath their bed every night before they go to sleep. Right? He's trying to take away your trans children. Why don't you just let the kids be kids, dude? Freaking weirdos. See, the parents need to be held accountable too. Apparently, the shooter's mom she went out and got a lawyer because she's terrified they're going to try and prosecute her because she's definitely has... I think we should start prosecuting parents for doing this kind of, like, dude, you literally... it's like mental manipulation of a minor, you know? But whatever, man. I just think that was an important conversation that needs to be had. And, you know, they go so far with it, but they won't go all the way where they literally need to be prohibited persons from getting firearms if they want to do that. I think that's... we already do it for felons. We do it for other people. It's just one more person to add to the list. Not everybody's allowed to get a firearm in the United States. It's just the way it is. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like on the video and comment. All right, peace. This is probably going to get shadow banned anyways.